What is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 341. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
Sup, people? How's it going?
Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
And Carlos Romero.
Yo, yo, yo.
All right, we're back. Different day tonight because of a certain holiday that was celebrated by the Americans. So that's why we're a little bit understaffed, but we still bring you that same fire, you know? And
fire.
exactly. So yeah, we hope all American listeners and viewers enjoyed their 4th of July. Hope you didn't blow up anything, on your person specifically. If you blew up something else, we don't care, What happened?
Those things can be dangerous. I've heard of stories of people blowing up their fingers and stuff just from fireworks.
Oh, so it's man, we've seen it.
I have stories.
Yeah, no, it's funny though. Like, I don't know. Like, by the way, if you guys may hear fireworks going off right now, because it's like illegal here, but I'm like, these motherfuckers are still like going crazy, shooting it off. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's interesting stuff. So hope everybody enjoy themselves, And
for sure.
Yeah, man, that's pretty much it, man. So let's get into these questions because questions never stop. All right, shout out to everybody in the chat right now. All right, first up here. Oh no, this one's out of focus. Let me get this in here. You guys see the sausage being made.
What is all that?
Yeah, for some reason, all my comments just went the wrong way before the show started. It's like, what the fuck? All right, first question here is. Oh, by the way, Mob Hits asked 4 questions, but Carlos and I sponsored 2 of them, so it's all good. I think Bob has forgot he has questions beforehand, because I know us doing a different day kind of threw everything off. But yeah, I didn't realize it does like the holidays. Like, oh shit, I forgot about that. July 4th is literally throwing questions like, can't do it.
Mm-hmm. Not gonna be able to do it.
All right. Anyway, first question here. So this is Eurocar sponsoring Mob Hits. Very generous man.
Guadalupe.
Despite being a European, All right. If sales numbers for $70 games drop, will we see publishers drop prices back down to $60? And here's the thing. Not every game or next-gen game is $70. It's mostly Sony doing this. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't seen a single Xbox game that costs $70. Granted, there's no new Xbox games, but maybe that's the reason. But, yeah, Sony's really the only one. I know NBA Live or whatever tried to pull that shit. People weren't having it. But I believe there are some games out there that do cost $70 that are not Sony. So he was just asking, like, if the NPDs reflect on it, will we see, publishers scale back? Yeah, obviously, because, these guys obviously go with their wallets. But I don't think, even there's been some uproar to $70 games, people still buy them regardless. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it's going to be $70. I don't think it's going to be a big deal, to be honest. Like, some people will bitch, but to be honest, I don't think it's going to really affect anything. What about the rest of you guys?
Yeah, not just that, but I don't ever think companies would point at that as a reason for failure. They would point at anything else for lack of sales. They would start looking for any other reason.
Yeah.
Than to dip into a revenue stream. They'd probably be like, oh, it's they're scared of coronavirus, there's all this, climate change. They would just blame anything else just not to drop that price. They'd never do it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I didn't think about it. You're right. It's like they'll use any excuse under the sun except for that. So it probably won't happen then. Carlos, you gonna say something?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the screenshots for people that weren't born during this time, but back in the day, games used to be worth $70, $80, $90. Like, it was normal back then, and $80 went far more longer than back in that day than it does now.
Yeah. Can you imagine we paid $80 for Atari games? Atari 2600 games. Go open the Sears catalog. The game is like $79, right? That's in 80s money.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That must be like $130 now or something.
Yeah, it's $130 basically. Let me see if I can find this shit because I tweeted. Here we go. I found it. Let's go. Let's go. This is a ad. I don't know what store this is from. Looks like
Toys R Us to me. That one.
But
I could be wrong.
I don't. Or looks like a music store of some sort. I see music CD included. No, it's something else. Anyway, could be Toys R Us, but anyway. So here are the prices. This is for Super Nintendo games. So this is the early '90s, right? So early '90s money. Killer Instinct, $87.98. Donkey Kong Country 2, $79.48. Super Punch Out, $78.98. Earthbound, $89.98. Remember, this is '90s money. Donkey Kong Country. So Donkey Kong Country 2 was already out at this point. So Donkey Kong Country is an old game. It's only 7 cents less, or 5 cents less. $79.49. Kirby's Dream Course, $64.98. Kirby's Avalanche, I believe that says, $64.98. Tetris and Dr. Mario, $79.98. Uniracers, I believe that says, $67.98. Wario's Wood, $66.98. And Tetris 2, The Revenge, $67.98. So this is $130 in nowadays money. So $70 is actually kind of cheap in comparison, you know? So that's why I don't think... yeah, go ahead.
And I think, any of the blowback will always go towards the quality of the games.
Yeah.
So there might be, studios will be more hesitant to release $70 games if they are just like DLC type games, or if they're indie games. But when it comes to AAA games like, the Call of Duties, the Maddens, the Sony first party studio games, whatever we're going to get from Microsoft in the future, those are going to be $70 games, and they're not going to change anything. Like Chris mentioned, they'll blame anything else for people not buying this thing other than the price. So just get used to seeing $70 AAA games for the most part, and probably AA games as well.
Yeah, Manny, what do you say?
Yeah, I agree with everything that was said, man. It's just I think it's always like this. You never hear about things going down. You always hear about things going up, and they'll never give that back.
Yeah.
Once they've already established the precedent, it's just like when games were $50, right? When they went up to 60, they didn't go back down again. They stayed at 60. And then now, once they're going to 70, they're going to go. And the problem is, we're not seeing a lot of justification for what these, for the price hike, right? You're selling all for, like, for instance, we have all these remasters that are coming out, and what are those games going to be? $70, right?
Who knows, man? That's a good question. I mean,
Spider-Man director's cut.
The director's cut. Yeah, you're right. They are $70. Yeah.
The Ghost of Tsushima one is $70.
Yep.
And the Death Stranding, we don't know yet. At least I don't know if there's been
no, we haven't. We haven't seen pre-orders. But if you take Miles Morales plus remastered Spider-Man, that's $70 as well. So yeah. So it's gonna just keep happening. So, and like Manny said, once they go up, they don't come back down, man. That is it. All right, that's that. Moving on to the next question. Kind of related. Oh, what's up?
Real quick, Kishak said something pretty interesting that I think is worth mentioning.
Say it.
He said, once the Switch Pro comes out, those games will cost $70. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
This is the perfect Nintendo excuse. It's like, we're releasing a new console. Yeah, games have to go up in price. Like, that's a good reason for Nintendo to feel like the need to release that console. Because they'll jack up the prices too.
I agree. Yeah, Nintendo, they're gonna be like, and they know the Nintendo fans are gonna pay. They know.
Oh yeah.
Gladly, proudly, they'll pay.
They'll pay $70 for a Smash character no one's ever heard of.
Yeah, right now, for real, man. Dude's gonna be crying and shit in Toys R Us. Ain't
no Toys R Us anymore, dude.
Yeah, you're right. At the Nintendo store, they're gonna be fainting and shit. Yo, Nintendo fans, man. All right, next question. Mob hits. All right.
Oh.
What are your thoughts on in-game ads? Apparently, there will be more of them in the coming future. Is this healthy for the game industry? Like, in-game ads have been a thing forever.
Yeah.
I remember when people
Yeah.
really started complaining about them, like in the early 2000s and shit. But it's been 20 years later. They still got them. You know. I think he's referring to I think there's going to be like a more of an added push to them. But I'm like, they've been there, bruh. Go ahead.
Didn't like 32-bit side scrollers have ads?
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember. I don't know if this is one of them, but didn't Turtles in Time have ads in the game? I don't remember.
I don't know, but the thing is, there were games that were literally ads. Remember Cool Spot? You know,
Oh, yeah, Cool Spot was-
Oh, the whole game, yeah.
There
it's literally
was
an
a
ad.
fucking Burger King game on 360.
Sneak King.
Yeah, so it's like, that's not nothing new, guys. One of the things I always find funny was like the games that have real life ads. I never notice them, but when they have fake ads, I notice the fake ads. You know, because they're entertaining. But like, I remember I was playing, I think it was Need for Speed Underground 2, right? And people complain, oh, too many ads. I'm like, this game has ads? Where? And there's literally like the phone you use in the game was a real phone, like Nokia or something. I had no idea. You know, because
Well, there was also this.
Yeah, you know what it is.
The other fun thing about that game.
What?
I think it was either Need for Speed or Burnout Paradise that had streamable ads, and I remember there being the Barack Obama presidential ads.
Yeah, that
people were pretty pissed about that.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't really notice that stuff. So I like they failed to win me over. I'm like, ooh, there's Taco Bell in there. I need to get Taco Bell now. It's just like, because I think I'm so used to seeing ads in real life, and they just kind of just faded to the background. It happens in games, so I don't mind. And the thing is, like, most of the time, the games I play don't take place in the real world, so they wouldn't have ads. You know, they're mostly for sports games and racing games. You know.
But I mean, you have Final Fantasy has had the cup noodles.
They had the cup noodles though. You know?
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
You know, they're starting to. I mean, in general, they've been starting to appear in games that aren't really considered real world games.
Yeah.
Like again, like Final Fantasy. Then you got like, even Metal Gear had ads in it.
Oh yeah, I mean, one of the fucking things you ate was basically an ad. You know?
Calorie Mate. And,
Calorie Mate. Yeah.
Calorie Mate, and I think a lot of the Japanese noodles. I think Peace Walker had, at least in the Japanese one, had a deal with friggin' Mountain Dew. So you punch out a guy and then a can of rotating Mountain Dew would come out of people.
That's like Rockstar energy drink in Death Stranding. Was it Rockstar? I know they had an energy drink in there, but I don't know if it was Rockstar energy drink.
Yeah, it was Rockstar.
It was Rockstar.
What was it?
I thought
it was Monster.
Oh, okay.
Monster. Yeah, because it had the 3 claws. You know.
Yeah, it had the claws.
Yeah,
in
it was Monster. It was Monster.
There's also the ad for Norman Reedus's ride in the game. Whenever you take the bath, and then the car and the vehicle. When you make the stupid, the one that's the themed Norman Reedus ride, he literally has an advertisement things like, "Yeah, man, Norman Reedus ride, what a great show, yeah."
Oh, man, yeah. See, so that shit's already been there, you know.
There's also another one in Death Stranding. There's an ad for Jeff Keighley's personality in that game.
He's the Lubin fan.
So yeah, I'll be honest. I don't care. You put them in there. I don't give a shit.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the problem with in-game ads is it suggests that there should be some sort of the player should receive some sort of discount.
You mean
because if you're throwing
$60 games?
I mean, if you're throwing a bunch of ads in your game, that means that you're getting additional funding. That means the price should go down. And that's what the biggest problem a lot of people had with ads. It's like, okay, so we have to watch these advertisements, hidden advertisements in the game. How come the player's not getting any sort of, or seeing any of that additional funding that's going on there?
Yeah. And then you combine that with $70 games and yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right about that.
One thing to note, I think is important. The reason why Tony doesn't see those, doesn't notice those ads, is because he lives in fucking New York.
Yeah,
and that shit's all around him. So it's like it's part of everyday life.
Exactly. Yeah, it just blends into the background. You know.
Yeah, it's essentially like white noise. You walk into Times Square, you're not looking. Especially
Times Square, I'll look across the street. That's
you're looking. You're looking at the place that you want to go. You're not looking up at the walls, to see what things are flashing around.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, so that's why I don't notice these things, because it's just part of back. But again, I notice fake ads. Those stand out to me all the time. Like the GTA ads, I'm like, oh, look at that. you know. But
even like the GTA, like don't they? Is it GTA that has like the orange phone? It's like
yeah,
like it's not an Apple phone, but
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
an orange phone.
yeah, you notice. I like, well, hold on a second. But if it's an Apple phone, since I am used to seeing that in real life anyway, it's just white noise, like Manny said, you know. But that's a good point. Like, if for people who live like more like the Midwest and shit, is that more apparent to them because they don't have ads anywhere? You know, like I don't maybe because dudes are just looking at trees all day and shit. Like they don't see ads in their face, you know. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, like for us, like at least in New York, most bus stops have big ads on them.
Buses have ads on them.
Buses have ads on them. Inside the buses on the awnings are all up there too.
Yeah.
But I think in general, with cities, you're so bombarded with ads, they're not really effective anymore. I feel.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right about it. It just becomes part of the background, and that's why I've never minded them in games because I'm like, okay, it's just how it is in real life, you know. All right, good stuff there. But you're right about this. Okay, so you got in-game ads. You can have more in-game ads, and games are $70.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Moving on. Next question. This one is also from Mob Hits. All right, Mob Hits. If we got your question wrong here, please let us know. We were a little like, well, what is he trying to ask there? Because you kind of threw a lot of stuff at us. But this is what we think you asked. Did Sony overpay to purchase Housemarque? And the answer is we don't know. We don't know how much they paid.
Yep.
I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah. I think he's trying to make a correlation between Housemarque and Insomniac, whether they overpaid for them as compared to what they paid for Insomniac. Insomniac, they paid a little over $229 million for the studio, which is a freaking steal.
That is, yeah.
No one has a clue about how much they paid for Housemarque. I'm pretty sure that's going to be announced during the second quarter report that Sony does, since they're a publicly traded company.
Yeah.
So we'll find out then, probably.
So yeah, we cannot answer this question right now. So we'll come back to it when we actually have data. So we legit don't know. All right. Next question. This one is also from Mob Hits. This one's sponsored by Romudeth, though. Another very generous fella. Appreciate that. All right, very simple one. This is a fun one. Fight sticks or fight pads? What do you prefer?
Fight pad.
Fight pads, yeah.
Fight pad. Chris?
Yeah, I used to do fight sticks, but I'm old now and I get tired. So fight pads all the way. That's why I sent Adam when he was interested in competing. I sent him my old fight stick, because I don't use it anymore. If I play Street Fighter 5, I'm just using a controller, and I have a custom 6-button layout like Street Fighter with just a pad, that I can plug in and use. Yeah.
Which one do you like? I like the Hori fight pads. Those are mine, man. I keep buying one every generation. They don't have one for PS5 yet, but the instant they do, I'm buying that shit.
Yes, they're very good.
Yeah. I remember there were these fight pads that came out for Street Fighter 4 specifically. Mad Cast, those things they were good until they broke a week later.
Yeah, they break really fast. I had one too. Yeah. I had one with Ken on it and branded, and it's 2 weeks later it just stopped working.
Yeah, I had that one. I had Chun-Li, right? And both of them broke on the left D-pad. They both broke the same. I'm like, come on, what the fuck, So yeah, fight. I've always been a fight pad guy. Adam, he gave that dream up real quick. Oh man, these guys are too hard. Because he was getting waxed online and shit.
Those guys are serious.
Yeah,
man.
no, those motherfuckers are cheaters.
He thought he could hang.
Yeah, right. Well, let's see what happens when he starts inline. It was aggressive inline now because that's what he's gonna try. I'm like, Adam, you having a midlife crisis, man?
I mean, he isn't he past the midlife crisis point?
I would think so.
I thought it was 40, right?
Yeah, I would think so. Actually, sometimes isn't it like late 30s or something? I don't know. It works differently for some different people. So maybe he's reaching his because he's trying to go back into the fighting game scene that didn't work. Now he's doing aggressive inline. I think that's a real sign of fucking midlife crisis. Like, bust your ass, bruh. Anyway, people trying to relive their youth. I have a friend. I'm not gonna name his name. He was because he used to do a lot of skateboarding. He went back to skateboard. He didn't bust his ass or anything, but he hurt. He's not injured, but like his legs were really sore because they were not used to doing all that shit. Plus he weighs a lot more now. It's like, yeah, you're not 18, bro.
Can't go back there, man. You can't go cold turkey.
Yeah,
you gotta train yourself. Gotta do some stretches.
It's hilarious, man. All right, so yeah, fight sticks. No, fight pads. Yay. All right, next up we got Chuko. I like that name. All right. What would it take? I think we've answered this before, but why not? What would it take for Microsoft or Xbox in this case to be successful in Japan? Even with the strides they've claimed to have made in Japan, they are still way behind. Can I just say the obvious answer? They can't. They'll never be successful in Japan.
Well. Wait a minute.
Yeah, and yeah, go ahead.
There's a Trojan horse this time. They're not selling a box anymore.
Oh.
If xCloud somehow has a good offering of good Japanese games, it could be a viable service for people to play those games on their phones and tablets, and they don't need a huge ass box to live in their little apartments.
That's a great point. I'd never considered that, because again, the answer I was going to give, the standard answer we give them before, it's like Japan. They think Westerners suck. They don't like Western games. They don't like Western consoles. The Xbox is too big for a Japanese apartment. It would just be too much. But think about it. They don't even have PlayStations over there because it's too big. But you're right. If you could just play their shits on the phone, because they all love playing on phones, that could be the answer. Chris, what do you say?
Well, to Carlos's point, I think they'd also have to. They have to get past the stigma of the culture of the games.
That's
right?
the other thing,
because the mascot is still Master Chief. It ain't whatever. What's her name that Sega has, the dancing?
Yeah, Lulu, right, or whatever the hell her name is.
Yeah, whatever her name is. Hatsune Miku.
Hatsune Miku. I was thinking about Ooh La La from Space Jam 5, man.
Yeah,
they don't have a cute Japanese.
Yeah, they would need that. What Microsoft needs, like, and the face of Xbox is Phil Spencer, right? It's Phil Spencer and Greenberg and all these guys. It's not, they don't have a thing like Nintendo, where here, like, Reggie was the face and now Doug Bowser is the face, although I never see his face. I don't know where this guy is. But in Japan, it was Yamauchi before, and then Iwata, and now the new guy. It's very much Japanese, right? So there's that trust. There's that nationalistic trust they have. Xbox doesn't have that. They'll have a marketing guy over there, sure, that's from Japan, but that ain't Phil Spencer's still in charge. He's still at the end of the day, that's Xbox, right? So they inherently don't trust that. So unless you had like an Xbox office that just talked to Japan, and they had that kind of outreach along with changing the culture of games, they need like that game for Japan. I don't know what it is, but they would need that. Like an RPG, something Riku would fucking play. They need that shit, right? Then xCloud would be successful.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, because again, remember, the Xbox has tried on numerous occasions to make inroads to Japan. Never worked. And again, it's because of that stigma they have. Like, Western games are crap. We don't want to play these things. The cloud thing could definitely help, but you're right. At the end of the day, it's still a Western thing, So we'll have to see. I personally don't see it happening, but you never know. Manny, what do you say? Actually, go ahead and call his name, Manny.
Just real quick, it's going to be hard for them because not only it's that stigma, but I mean, even someone like Sony, like we talked about earlier, they're losing favor over there as well. So if Sony can't get them, Microsoft is going to have a harder time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Manny, go ahead.
Can you repeat that? Sorry, I'm doing some other stuff on.
How can Xbox succeed in Japan? Is it possible?
I think I heard it before. Was like it'd be so difficult to get over the stigma of American or Western sort of centric stuff. You're And I even feel like even I also heard from before, it was like even Sony's probably having a little bit of issues, having quite a bit of issues in Japan because they've become very Western centric too.
Yeah. Yeah, they're
So
not happy
who's
about
left?
that. Yeah, they're not
Who's
happy
left?
about that.
Nintendo,
Nintendo's
right?
the only one. Yeah. Like
I-
Christian
I-
said, like they have that trust there. All their heads are all Japanese guys. You know.
Exactly. So you have this. I mean, granted, you had a Japanese, an American or a Westerner at the top of Sony previously, but he was also very Japanese centric. He spoke fluent Japanese. He addressed, he understood Japanese stuff. I mean, like, even like with the current president of Sony PlayStation Entertainment, right? You look at him. Guy doesn't speak any Japanese.
Yeah,
They
our
have
boy
all these
Jim Ryan.
They have all those errors in Japanese. That the Japanese were not very happy about when it came to watching those shows. Where before they were localized if they were in English, but now they're not. And they're not localized correctly. Lots of errors and stuff like that. That's stuff that wouldn't have happened if Sony Japan was in charge of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So how will they do it? I mean, how could Microsoft do it? It was really put a conscious effort into the Japanese market, literally having maybe a whole Japanese branch as opposed to the Western branch, literally having somebody actually there who's actually understands the audience there. But again, even so, they still have that stigma over there. So I don't think they will ever do it. But I do think maybe not the console, but maybe potentially the service.
Yeah.
Where if okay, now you don't need to invest in a console. If you invest in a service, I feel like that might be a little bit of might open the door to Microsoft in that in the Japanese market. It just is a matter of getting those Japanese games, games that Japanese are interested in onto the console, and not just the usual suspects like Yakuza and all that stuff, which is is just available on everything.
Yeah. Well, like Carl just said, get Riku games on there.
Yeah. Lockdown, do it all again. Lock down a couple of key Japanese titles, or get a key Japanese developer to do something specific for the Xbox. But again, they already tried that and they canceled that game. So
Yeah. You know what? I like this. We're gonna toss in a. Actually, no, that's not a bonus question, man. To make it that you only asked us one, so this is a real question from you then.
Do it.
Yeah, let's go. Let's answer it now. 'Cause this is related. Would Sony ever reinstate a Japanese head of PlayStation? I hope so.
I think it's gonna happen.
I think so too. I think I feel like it's weird how like less global they become when they become more Western centric.
Yeah.
You notice that?
Well, the way they say is like, since Westerner or the West takes up brings us the most amount of money, it's just focused on them.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like you
Yeah,
have to.
no, I agree with that.
Yeah, I think that's what's going on. But then you got fucking countries like India. I'm not even making this up. I had because Throwdown, we have a lot of Indian fans, right? They hit me up, Tony, can you please tell Sony to bring the PlayStation 5 here? They just forgot that whole market. There's a billion motherfuckers over there. Completely forgot him.
Wow.
I'm like, because when PlayStation 5 was coming out, I had a bunch of Indian guys hit me up. Tony, can you please tell Sony this? Obviously, Tony's not going to listen to me, but that tells you something,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're less global now. Apparently, it's very interesting.
The Series X, I think, launched like 2 weeks ago in China.
Yeah.
So it's like they're rolling out pretty slow over there, and with the shortages, man, things are going to take forever.
No, you're right about that.
India is a market that's never really been taken advantage of.
Yeah.
There's never been a sort of a pander towards that audience for some reason, because there are a lot. I mean, obviously there's a lot of people there, man, and I don't know. To be honest, I don't know, but like if there's a sort of a video game relationship with video games as there are with.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, because when it comes to these kind of countries, it's hard to tell, unless you have somebody there like on the ground reporting on this. But again, a lot of people aren't really, they don't really care. A lot of reporters here, it's funny to talk about all this. I'm not getting into it, but they're not being about that life, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but I mean, if you have a lot of Indian followers asking you about it, maybe there is.
Yeah, I think so. I honestly think so, man. Indians and Muslims, ooh, man, they love them fucking video games, but they get underserved too, I have a lot of followers from Arab countries, the Middle East and stuff, and they're always talking about games and stuff, and they're like, yo, we got to pay this. They have their ways though, but it's not like a direct thing,
Remember when Jagon did a video on this? I think it was a convention in Saudi Arabia. I'm like, there's a lot of motherfuckers there, man.
Yeah.
They all love video games just like we do.
Oh, so man, there's a story behind that, by the way. We posted a story about that, right, on SFU and Play, and some random dude, he posted the same. He literally just copy and pasted our article, right? And then on one episode of Throwdown, we made the featured image this guy. Like an image of him, and he got really upset, so he apologized and shit. Oh man, that was back when we didn't give a fuck, we wouldn't have done anything like that these days, we would have handled it behind the scenes. But yeah, back then we didn't give a fuck, ghetto as shit, so we just called this guy out. I was like, yeah, we're making fun of you, say something.
Well, we literally drew. I literally drew like the don't Ghostbusters thing.
Yeah.
For that thing, I was man. Come on, man.
It's crazy, but yeah, to answer this question, yeah, I hope Sony does, because this whole push towards the West, nah, man, nah. All right, next question here. This one is from Assyrian Air Force. Very interesting question. All right, Ghost of Tsushima director's cut is causing an uproar, but where was it for Dragon Quest XI? When Square Enix released a definitive edition with no upgrade was given to the PS4 owners? Didn't Square Enix double dip? Let's just be honest here. Dragon Quest XI did not sell as much as Ghost of Tsushima. That's why. But I understand what he's getting at, because it's the same basic premise. The definitive edition of Dragon Quest XI and many other games like it, even Persona Royal, what is it? It's just the same game, just with more content. Yeah. And this is why I keep telling people, don't ignore the director's cut part. That means nothing. It's just another way of saying definitive edition, game of the year edition. That's all this is. That's all it is. There is no there's something special about it. It's like, oh, what do you mean? Like, did they cut something from a game? No, they didn't cut shit. They're adding stuff. It's just because it sounds more prestigious. That's literally all it is. Although it is funny that Sony's the one doing this, and they're the ones accused of making cinema games. So, but that's all it is, and that's why I guarantee you, if Ghost of Tsushima, they just called it Ghost of Tsushima Definitive Edition, nobody would say anything. Or at least it wouldn't be on that level. But of course, you also have the other factor of, since we have gotten games that have gotten free upgrades, and this one isn't doing it, people are like, what the fuck? When Dragon Quest XI came out, that didn't exist yet. Even though it was like last year, basically, that was still not a thing yet, like free upgrades. If there was a free upgrades on PS4, I never heard of it, So yeah, it wasn't a thing back then. That's also the other factor you got to consider. So it's the fact that Dragon Quest is not as big as Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, even I know Dragon Quest has been around forever, but in the West, where Sony really concentrates on, Ghost of Tsushima sold more. You have the whole fact that we didn't see a proliferation or any type of free upgrades on PS4 generation, and the fact that Ghost of Tsushima is doing this while we have had free upgrades. So all those factors, that's why people didn't go crazy with the Dragon Quest. So I get what you're saying, but it's not comparable. It's two different things, But we're gonna see more of it. I'm telling you right now. There will be a Last of Us 2 director's cut, and I bet you they're gonna toss into multiplayer. I guarantee that shit. Because that's how they're gonna sell you for $30 more. Watch. Although I will be interested to see if this game gets the same amount of uproar. I don't think it will. don't think it will. Last of Us fans are they're a special lot. That's what I'm gonna say about that. Every time I tweet about Ghost of Tsushima, how much I love it, how was my game of the year, without fail, here come the Last of Us fans. Last of Us is better. Last of Us is better. Every fucking time, I'm like, all right, guys, you know. But I guarantee you, if I did the other way around, if I tweeted about Last of Us 2 being my game of the year, which it wouldn't have been anyway, Ghost of Tsushima fans would never said shit, you know. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff. I think I answered for everybody.
Yeah.
You know. All right. Let me get the next question set up. I don't even think I had it ready yet. All right. This one is from also a Syrian Air Force. Speaking about last gen, you know, in your opinion, what is the most underrated game? So it's got to be one underrated game of last generation. For him, he says it was Mad Max. He says it was a great game, but it got overshadowed by Metal Gear Solid 5, which came out the same day.
That was the worst decision they had ever made. How are you going to release a Mad Max game, which literally is almost exactly the same audience that you're looking for at the same time? Everybody's going to play Metal Gear.
Yeah, exactly. Manny, why don't you go first? What was your most underrated game of last gen? Was it Soul Sacrifice? Was it Soul? No, Soul Suspect.
That was a Vita game.
Soul Suspect.
Yeah, you know what? I would say Murdered Soul Suspect.
Yeah.
One of the essentially starter games for
Yeah.
It was released pretty much in the launch of the PlayStation 4. Yeah, I'd say Murdered Soul Suspect, and also honorable mention would also be Gravity Rush 2.
Ooh.
I don't think that game did amazing.
No, I didn't.
I mean, they closed down the studio,
They
so
closed- yeah.
I really doubt it.
So
Yeah.
obviously, it didn't do amazing because they didn't keep them around. I also would say the Order 1886 is also a title too.
All right, Chris. Go ahead.
You know what? I'm gonna say Titanfall 2.
Oh yeah.
Chris,
Excuse
is
me?
the butter game.
Yeah, that's the butter game.
I hear something. I hear Adam.
Yeah.
I hear his voice.
He's like Guadalupe.
Guadalupe.
Yeah,
You love that game, man.
Yeah. Yo.
Yeah, I did too.
yeah,
It was great.
I'm going with Chris on this one. Yeah, Titanfall 2 for sure, man. And again, that's another game that came out at the wrong fucking time. You know,
What was that launched against?
it launched against Call of Duty and Battlefield. It's the EA game.
Oh, yeah.
Oh god.
I think
Yep.
EA launched it against one of their own games.
Yep.
So it's like, come on, guys. So yeah, Titanfall 2. I don't think that's another answer. It's like, yeah, like shit. That is crazy, man. All right, moving on. Oh, real quick, Chuko, you asked us what are our thoughts on director's cuts and the price of Ghost of Tsushima director's cut. Check out the last episode. That was literally the first segment, you know.
Also, Chuko, my answer for the last question is Ori and Will of the Wisps.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's a great game. Was it underrated though?
I think by the masses it was, because it, like, critically it did pretty well, but I don't remember people ever talking about that game.
Yeah. I mean, my timeline's a little skewed because all the guys I saw on my timeline, like, this game's fucking awesome, you know.
But that's just Godfrey and Paris.
Yeah, I'm talking about the Xbox guys. You know, I do have Xbox fans that follow me. You know, they fucking love the game. You know, yeah, no, that's a great game, man. Both of those games, you know.
Oh yeah, both of them are
both
really,
of them.
really good.
Yeah, man.
As a wise man once said, it's a great series.
It's a great series, you know. If you got Xbox Game Pass, play them, man. All right. All right. Where the fuck are we? Dumeke, man. He's in the chat right now, hanging out, asking those controversial questions, man.
Oh.
Actually, this one's not even a question. It's just a statement, but I made it into a question because I want to talk about this. All right. I know people love receiving free shit and hate to have their integrity questioned. But when is it too much? That is a question, all right. Xbox has sent a heap of free stuff, including Galaxy Note phones, controllers, and even the fridge, full size and small, to people. Yeah, that's all marketing, but it also makes you wonder if it's more than that. To the average gamer who is engaged on social media, it makes you question people's opinions. What are your thoughts? I mean, we talked about this, man. Like, what do you expect people to do? Buy all this shit, like, and review it? Like, they're gonna run out of money, you know. And if companies see that somebody has a really big audience, they're gonna send them stuff because, and it helps out both parties. The company gets their, whatever product it is, seen by a lot of people, and the influencer gets a bigger audience because of said thing. So it's a mutual thing that goes round and round and round, you know. So I always ask you guys, do you think my reviews are any less credible because I get, like, quote unquote free games? Like, I fucking gave a low score to Godfall. They sent me all this crazy shit. Still gave it a low score because the game was trash, you know. Like, I can't speak for a lot of these influencers because they are easily, or not easily, they are more. It is easier to persuade them than it would be a journalist. If I were being paid and it got disclosed, I would be fired instantly. You know, nobody would take me seriously. With an influencer, when that happens, people are like, yes, an influencer. That's what they do. You know?
Yeah. Like, what do you question? Do you question a lot of these guys that get these sorts of free things and they don't really review it, or what? Like, I don't know. I feel like there's definitely people that can be swayed over it, but I don't think that people that are already getting paid will get swayed unless they're getting some sort of bonus for giving things a good review. And I've never heard of anything like that.
Yeah, listen, man, I'm telling you right now, I'm talking about the journalists. I cannot speak for the influencer shit. As a journalist, that does not happen. Nobody gets paid by companies to give a good review. That does not happen. There have been consequences if you gave a bad review. Look at the Jeff Gerstmann thing. That has happened. But companies do not go to you and be like, hey, here's money, give us a good review. That doesn't happen. You do that, you're gone. Instantly gone, you know? Yeah. So that does not happen at all. I know that people still believe that shit. You can't make somebody see the truth if they don't want to understand it, but that's the truth. Nobody gets paid for good reviews. That does not happen at all, you know. But again, that's just for the journalist side. With the influence, who the fuck knows, you know?
Yeah, like I mean, we've seen situations in the journalists. I mean, not the journalists, in the influencer space where they're literally doing a commercial for that company. Their content, that in fact, there was a point where you always see that thing now, or now they say, oh, this video was paid for by, so and so video game company. But before, they didn't even need to say that.
Yeah. Yeah, so, by the way, let me just show this real quick, because this is where I keep all my stuff, by the way. Look at this big fucking box. Godfall, It came with a bunch of shit. I still give it a low score. Come on, man. No, but you're right about that. What you just said right there. Go ahead.
You'll see because of all of that stuff was happening, because people were thinking these were legitimate videos, but they were literally just ads that were paid for by the thing, and nobody ever questioned these guys.
Yeah,
that's pretty screwed up if you ask me.
No, you're right, because the thing is, again, journalists are held to a different standard than influencers. I just wish the influencers were held to the same standard, because I think the standard I'm held to is a good standard. Like, you get paid, you do some seedy shit, you're gone, I wish the influencers would be held to that account,
That's the thing. They're not getting paid to do it.
They're not.
They're officially not getting paid. If they would say
they're not representing a company, it's just them.
They're not it's just them. So they made the deal. They're getting sponsored. So they're not fully beholden for their thing, but officially, yes. And after that happened, people realized, oh, wait a minute, these are paid videos. We got to call this into question.
Yeah.
And then, but I don't. To be honest, I don't think any less of the people that get free stuff. You just get free stuff. But the problem is that I feel like also as the regular person who sees these sorts of fancy things, like, you wonder to yourself, how come I can't get that? How come I can't go to if I'm a big Godfall fan, how come I can't go to the store and get that Godfall bag, Godfall box that you just got there? How come I can't get any of this other stuff? It's a little, I think sometimes it just feels a little bit unbalanced when it comes to those sorts of things, because it's like, okay, just because you write something or you are an influencer means that you're privy to get this thing that nobody else can get.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, here's the thing, because I've done unboxings of some cool things that I get, but it's only the things you guys could buy, like this Godfall shit. I didn't. Why do I could have easily done an unboxing. There's a bunch of cool stuff there. It's not available to the public, so why would you care? You know, like why would you care?
Exactly.
So I agree with you on that. It's like, I don't understand the purpose of that, to be honest. Like, because again, I got a bunch of stuff that's just like, oh, this is nice, but you know. It may again. There might be some people who might be like, "Hey, maybe I should tone it down a little bit, maybe." But I don't. Fuck that. You know, send me free shit, but I will rip your game apart if it's ass. You know.
Yep. Well, you don't rip games apart.
I don't.
Let's just be honest about that. If you were ripping games apart, you probably wouldn't be working right now.
Yeah, because you got to play that. You got to play the game. You know, I was thinking about the other, like, I am way harsher on fucking movies than I am on video games, but that's because I don't review movies. You know. But at the same time, I'm not lying to you about a game either. You know, it's just with a game, I got to be like, okay, this is what's wrong with it. This is what they could have done to fix it. You know, with a movie, I'm just gonna tell you it's ass and move on. You know,
I feel like also the movie industry is a little bit more forgiving when it comes to like bad reviews. I feel like when it comes to when so much of the industry,
they'll keep giving you stuff. They don't care. You know,
they'll keep giving you stuff, but I feel like a lot of times in the game, in gaming, they'll tend you if you give like a really harsh, scathing review, you probably notice that maybe some people may not be getting things that they used to.
Yeah, that's one thing, and just being full disclosure, I honestly believe a lot of game companies are very thin-skinned. You know, they don't like criticism. You know, so in a way, you do have to play baby gloves. Think about it like this, right? Okay, you know for a fact you're gonna get a Call of Duty game this year. That is a fact, right? Ask Activision right now. I mean, not right now because I think they already announced a Call of Duty, but back in January, what can you tell us about this year's Call of Duty? We are not talking about that. We haven't made those plans. Yes, you have. You know, yes, you fucking have. You know, so but they do it all the time. But you're right. Like if you give a scathing review, you ain't getting no free games. I think that's wrong. I'm like, game companies need to just man up. You know what I'm saying? Because right with movie and even with embargo, it's like, all right, the game comes out on the 15th, embargo lists on the 14th. What, dude? Every time I've gone to like a screening for a movie, right? You know when the embargo lifts, there is no embargo. The embargo lifts as soon as I finish seeing the movie. You know, they don't care.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so game industry, so I, just to be fair about it, it's like. There is no grand conspiracy that people are getting paid off for nice reviews, but at the same time, game companies need to grow a thicker skin. You know, it's like, come on, guys.
I think the crux of it, from what is being asked, is about influencers.
Yeah,
in particular.
Again, the reason I'm just more talking about journalists because I don't know the influencer world. I'm like, those guys are doing their thing. I'm not gonna really talk about it that much, but again, my only thing about influencers, I just wish they were held accountable when fuckery happens, because fuckery does happen a lot over there,
Yeah,
but them getting free stuff, I don't mind that. It's like, yeah, it makes sense. Listen, the company wants their shit advertised and they want to grow viewers. I understand that whole process, so I have absolutely no problems with that. Go ahead, Carlos.
I think it's just important to say that it's like, I scratch your back, you scratch mine kind of world, and when it comes to influencers and free stuff, because at the end of the day, the importance of the influencer is not integrity, although a lot of people do take that seriously. The key for the influencer is the content. Yeah. And what provides content? Getting a free fridge, getting a free game, getting something else from a publisher, something that the audience would be interested in. I just don't think I never take, well, I don't normally take like reviews seriously, but especially from influencers, because you already understand that they're already looking at it from rose colored tinted glasses, the way they present it sometimes. Not all of them do it. Well, not all. I think most of them do it. Not all of them do it to 100% extent. But they all do it whether they think they're doing it or not, because it's just easier to keep people happy for the sake of your business, because at the end of the day, these videos and doing a video about a fridge that gives you 100K views, it's your business, and if something goes against that and something is threatening that, you're not going to do it. And the way that your business is not threatened is by not making these people angry. So it's a slippery slope, and you got to be careful to who you listen to. You got influencers advertising fucking altcoins and shit, and people are just like paying for stupid stuff so they can pump and dump. And it's like, you got to be careful with these people, man, because they hold so much fucking power over their viewers, and sometimes the viewers don't see it. Sometimes the people doing this don't even see it. They think they have the best intentions, but sometimes they just don't see where they're misleading their audience, because sometimes they just don't look the other way when it comes to certain stuff.
Yeah, I think in the chat, excuse me, we were getting some questions about the chairs. That's always a big point of contention. You know which chairs we're talking about. Blitz, he goes, no one reviewed those chairs, but they talked up the game. Talking about Cyberpunk. Yeah, the chairs were not for review. I don't even think you could buy those chairs.
Actually, I think you can buy those.
Okay,
chairs.
so there you go.
You can buy those weren't special to. The only thing that was special about those chairs is that they had the name of the person that got it, or their handle or something that was on it. But otherwise, you could actually go and buy those cyber chairs.
I'm gonna say this though, man, about Cyberpunk, right? Because a lot of people give the influencer shit. They got bamboozled too. Because what did those guys have? Even think about it like this, right? Who was the voice of Cyberpunk? It was Paris, right? He didn't get the game until launch. You know why, right? Because they fucking knew the game was trash. So Paris was, and a lot of guys were only able to review the first part of the game, the most polished part of the game, and talk about that. So don't blame any of that stuff on the influencers. Blame it on CD Projekt Red. They bamboozled everybody. Influencers, journalists, everybody got bamboozled by that fucking game. So yeah, don't blame the influencers on that one. And don't blame the chairs either. Who the fuck cares? Seriously, like, the dude gets a chair. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. The thing about it is, it's not. Here's the thing. Like, when it comes to the folks that did get the chair, that didn't affect their review. It didn't make them like the game any more than they actually did.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
I know.
I gotta push back though.
Yeah, go push.
You push her.
I'm gonna push just a little bit.
Okay.
In the case of Cyberpunk, I think that's just a really unique case, because it was safe to criticize this game. I think this is the safest game to ever criticize in the history of video games.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk. So it's much easier to criticize a game when everyone's criticizing it, and instead of maybe a game that's on the fence. That's just my 2 cents.
Where's the push though? You didn't say anything I disagree with. I was specifically talking about why the game was talked up by influencers, for months, because they got hoodwinked. That's why, Well,
no. Like, what I'm saying is, I don't remember who said it, but someone said that at the end of the day, they ended up criticizing Cyberpunk instead of praising it. But what I'm pushing back is
I didn't say that.
They had to criticize it because there's just really no other argument other than to criticize Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah. Except our boy Yang, man, he got raked over the coals because he did give it a very positive review. Paris, he was like, yo, I'm not reviewing this until I play for a month. Then afterwards, he was like, yeah, no. Even he was saying that. But Yang, he went out and did his review, very positive review, and and even this is how bad it is. Quick. Yang had to make a follow-up video saying, yeah, my review was bad.
Yeah, I think.
To be honest, let Carlos finish first. Yeah.
The thing with Yang, he got the version Cyberpunk earlier than Paris did.
Yeah, he did.
Not only that, but I don't remember if this is everyone, but didn't they also get 3080s?
They did, but I don't know if it was for the game. I'm not sure.
A lot of these reviewers who were reviewing the game were reviewing it on PC on the best freaking video card.
Yeah. Again, I don't know if CD Projekt Red sent those. I think it was just Nvidia that sent them, but it was kind of around the same time. So yeah, these guys were playing it on bomb ass shit.
Mm-hmm.
And think about it this:
So-
I'm running a fucking GTX 1080. If I would review the game, my experience would have been better than the console guys by a mile. You know.
Right.
So yeah. So again, hoodwinked. CD Projekt Red knew what they're doing, man. That's why do you think they forbid people from reviewing the console versions? You know, they knew. You know, so that's why I don't blame the influencers. I'm like, they suckered everybody, man. You know. Manny, were you
It
gonna
was
say?
a trap.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah. All right.
It's a trap.
Good question. All right. The last question of the night. This one is from Chakzilla. I wish Adam was here. This is really more for him. But we'll do our best.
Oh, bro, no.
This is about his favorite company, man, EA. You know?
What, is it good?
Or is that Activision?
Oh, it's probably I don't know. It's a combination because
Yeah.
Adam has a love-hate relationship with EA. Like he loves Titanfall 2. He loves Foot and Madden and
Foot.
but then he gets blacklisted. He's like
He got blacklisted for cheating. It's his own fault. Oh, man. All right. Anyway, Chakzilla, he goes, what sports games could use the biggest change from either new gameplay concepts or ideas? EA games are stale and no real new gameplay modes or changes. During previous gens, there were the hits NHL games and the Street Series. I always wanted a licensed indoor lacrosse game with big hits and the fighting. Also, think Wave Race Jet Moto would be nice upgrades with the new power and consoles. Thanks for the holiday show. Love the dedication. Yeah, you already know, man. You know.
Appreciate that.
So yeah. So I guess what sports game needs the most overhaul? All of them. I'm not a sports guy, so I'm the wrong guy to ask this shit. You know.
I mean, are we talking about the big ones or just the main line?
Like Madden, FIFA, and like those types of games.
But those are it though. Like,
To be honest, I would say the biggest one the one that needs the biggest overhaul is the NHL hockey games. Those games have been lousy for years.
If you were to ask Adam, he would have said the WWE games.
If
That's not
re-
EA, right?
and that
That's,
really, yeah, that's not EA.
that's not EA, but we could talk about other companies. You know.
Yeah, I think I stopped playing sports games and for like it feels like almost a decade now. I think the ones that needed the most work were the 2K games, like NBA 2K. It was a great game, but the servers were shit. They just had so many issues with glitches and stuff. But at like baseline, the game was pretty fun, especially if you're playing with other people, and online, whenever the servers worked. I don't know how that has progressed throughout the time, but if that's something that hasn't been worked out, then that's something they need to fix. Madden, they need to make it just a roster update, man. They need to have like 5 years of just roster updates, pay $30 for it or something. And then after 5 years, then you can innovate and have the new iteration of the football game, like have Madden. Because it's just the same thing every single year, and they're just more interested in doing the quick roster updates and stuff, and adding just maybe one or two features instead of actually innovating like seriously for a game.
You know what I think they should do? And I've said this last gen. Release one like Madden. Let's go with Madden, right? Release Madden 21 this year, right? And then don't release another Madden until like 5 years from now. And then each year you just do a roster update. That's all you really need. They're not going to do that because there are people out there that only play Madden, so they will buy the game every single year nonstop. We know people like that. So that's the reason those games are going, but that's what I think they should do. They're not going to do it because sports games are fucking huge and stuff, because, again, the guys who play those games, that's all they play, every single year. So they're not going to give up those sales. So,
Yeah.
just how it is. Again, man, like my favorite sports game is NBA Jam. That tells you what you need to know about me.
Yeah, at least for me, it's like the sports games that are more arcadey than sim sort of games. I always like those.
Yeah, like give me Tecmo football or something, man. That's it.
I feel like a lot of those tend to be a little bit more evergreen.
Yeah.
than the sort of new roster, new things like that. But then again, a modern guy playing NBA Jam sees the version of the version of the Knicks that are from like 20 years ago or 30 years ago. They're like, who are these guys?
See, and that's the reason I couldn't get into the new NBA Jam. I'm like, who are these guys, man? Bring back the old guy, I want Scottie Pippen. I want to see those guys, like bring those guys back. But they're not gonna do that. They're putting these new guys,
It's funny. It's funny. Like in those old NBA Jams, you knew who were the free agents because they didn't have Michael Jordan in the NBA Jam. They had Scottie Pippen and like Dennis Rodman or something.
That's right. Yeah, like Anthony Stark. My man Patrick Ewing. Like that's the guys I want to see.
John Starks. Patrick Ewing. I don't think Xavier McDaniels was in there.
No, he wasn't in there. All those guys.
X-Man.
The X-Man. That was past his time, wasn't it?
Oh no, he was. I think he was on there.
Was he still playing in the NBA at that time?
He was. Yeah, like he was part of the 90s. What do they call it? The Olympics. It was Xavier McDaniels was there. Patrick Ewing. I think Magic Johnson was in it too.
I don't remember him being in there.
I could have sworn he was in the. That was like one of his latest ones. I don't know, but yeah, they had a damn good team on there.
Yeah,
wasted the world.
Yeah, that was a fun game, man. NBA Jam, bring that shit back.
Yep.
Yeah, Scottie
Boom
Pippen.
shakalaka.
Boom shakalaka.
He's heating up.
Yeah. And of course, he's on fire. He's on fire.
He's on fire.
And then because was it Acclaim was making those games, right? And for the home consoles.
Yeah, it was Acclaim.
So they had like Sub-Zero in there, it's Scorpion,
Oh, there's a fun thing about that. Like when it was they actually, because they used to revise the arcade machines.
Yeah.
Right. So, but what happened was Raiden and Scorpion and Sub-Zero were in a version of NBA Jam, but then when the NBA heard about that, they said remove those motherfuckers because they actually did. They actually had a fatality too. You could, like, in other words, whenever they would do like a certain move, you would see essentially whenever they would do the slam, it would light everybody on fire.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So yeah, they cut it out because they didn't want that that dirty game to be in the characters to be inside of the Mortal Kombat game. But yeah,
I'm looking at the rosters that they had back then. This is right. I'm trying to look this up.
I think Larry Bird's in it too.
Was he? I don't remember Larry Bird being in that.
I think Larry Bird was in NBA Jam as well.
Oh shit, they had Mutombo in there? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Not in the house of Mutombo.
Not in the house of Mutombo.
Yeah, these motherfuckers don't know, man. Actually, let's go through it. So the Atlanta Hawks, Dominique Wilkins and Stacey Augmon. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Man, old school names. Boston Celtics, they had Reggie Lewis. Oh, shit. And Kevin McHale. Oh, shit. D. Brown, Robert Parrish. Charlotte Hornets. Larry Johnson, Kendall Gill.
Mm-hmm. Before he was on the Knicks, Larry Johnson.
Right, yeah.
Grandmama.
Yeah, my man Alonzo Mourning. Let's go.
Alonzo Mourning, yep.
Oh, shit.
OG information.
Yeah. We're going down. Listen, man, the show's about to be over anyway, so fucking indulge us, Us old timers. Yeah, it's Chicago Bulls. We had Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant. Oh, shit.
Oh, God, Horace Grant.
Remember those days, man?
I thought it was what's his face that was on there, but no.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, B.J. Armstrong, Horace Grant. Okay, so these are just like all the variations. Cleveland Cavaliers, we had Mark Price and Brad Daughters. I never cared about the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't think I ever used that fucking,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Detroit Pistons. We got my man Isaiah Thomas. Remember Isaiah Thomas, man?
Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, shit. So, yeah, the team was Isaiah Thomas and Bill Lambier. Cool. Indiana plays my man Reggie Miller.
Reggie Miller, nice.
With them 3-pointers, man.
Mm-hmm.
Milwaukee Bucks. Brad Lowhouse. I don't know that guy. I don't think I used Milwaukee. Miami Heat. Oh, man.
It's the Heat.
Glenn Rice. Yes, the Heat. They were like the biggest rivals of New York, I remember. They would always physically fight each other,
Yeah, it was I also remember the coach. Didn't the coach move over to the Miami Heat? What's his face?
Oh man, what? Oh my God, the guy with the mustache, right?
Wait,
No,
from
he
the
didn't have
Knicks, you
mustache.
mean?
Phil Jackson.
Yeah, from the Knicks.
Oh, that's Jeff Van Gundy.
Jeff Van Gundy. Jeff Van Gundy.
Yeah,
That's right.
he was the later coach. There was another one before him that moved on. I think he
Oh,
was on
Pat
the Heat.
Riley.
Yeah,
Pat
Pat Riley.
Riley.
There
There
you
we
go.
go.
Yeah, Pat
He
Riley.
went
Yeah,
on to the
they
Heat.
called him. I remember they called him Rat Riley when he left.
Yep.
New Jersey Nets. Oh my man, Derek Coleman. Or New York Knicks. Here we go. Here we go. Patrick Ewing. You know,
Patrick Ewing.
and Charles Oakley. Remember him?
Ah, yes, Charles Oakley.
John Starks. There we go, man.
John Starks was the alternate. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can put
he was
him. You
alternate.
throw him on the 3-pointers.
Yeah, Orlando Magic. We have Shaq.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shaq,
Well-
baby. And Scott.
Oh, Shaq's in there.
Yeah, Shaq's in there. Yeah.
Shit. Man, you realize how long that motherfucker had been playing?
Yeah, he's been there forever. You know.
Yeah, I mean, he's only recently retired.
Yeah. All right, I'm not gonna go through the Western guys. It's a lot.
Yeah, you're only
Yeah.
saying the East Coast.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one we care about anyway. By the way, I love how Brett shows up. We're about to end the show. What's going on, Brett?
We're ending the show?
Yeah,
Goddamn.
pretty much. I was actually fluffing right now. I was just like, let's talk about NBA Jam. Let's go through the rosters of NBA Jam. The show was pretty much, I'm like, let's expanding it for time, you know?
Yeah, but I didn't realize we were doing it earlier. I just forgot to check.
Eh,
Sorry, guys.
It's all
Next
good,
time.
man. It's all good. Anyway, Brett, how are you doing, man? You holding up in there, man?
Yeah. I'm doing pretty good. Gonna get back to playing some Ratchet and Clank here.
Ah,
Which,
Ratchet Clank.
I enjoy. You know, the one thing, and I wouldn't mind some suggestions from the fans. Like, I kind of want to play a progressive activity game, like kind of an MMO or something like that. I need something between games, and I've been playing a lot of Fallout, but I don't know what else to play.
yeah. So if you guys could help Brett out, let us know. You know?
I pretty much cleaned out Monster Hunter, so I'll throw that out there.
Yeah, but you got mad at Monster Hunter though.
Oh, I did. I got fucking frustrated by it. It gets a little less skill based, a little bit more fucking cheap. But yeah, you fight through it. It's fine.
Oh man. All right. So wrapping this up, Manny, what you got to plug?
Oh, well, I got a whole bunch of stuff. Obviously, Stack Shock just came out. Pick that one up. It's a new month, so that means there's going to be Static number 2.
Ah.
So that's going to be coming out real soon. Got obviously Represented just came out really recently, so that's all out for you. You can get it digitally, and I think you can get a lot of it for free, or you can go and buy the graphic novel. Got another one here, which is Superman Red and Blue. Just came out too, and obviously, as always, excellence is real. We are still working on the stuff. Lots of things going on. We got a cool thing with Skybound X coming up, so yeah. So make sure to keep an eye out for that. Also, if you didn't get a chance, I actually did a stream on the day that we were supposed to do Throwdown Your Questions. I did about an hour, 30 minutes of near replicant. Fought a boss in the junk heap. So that's all on there right now. And again, there's no set schedule to me playing them. I just whenever I feel, for some reason, I want to keep streaming it. I'm a loner sort of gamer, sort of like in my little cave playing the game all the time. But, I'm going to keep on doing them as long as you keep checking them out. So, yeah, stay tuned for the next time that I'm going to be playing. No set schedule, just show up.
All right, good stuff. Chris, you could plug Loki this time.
I guess so. Tony, Carlos, and myself, we're on the Loki cast for the Coalition with Dana Abercrombie and Richard Negron and what's he called? Is he called
Ricardo.
Tony's son?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Tony's son. Yeah. Joey Polanco, my illegitimate child.
Yes, and Richard Bailey Jr.
Oh yes.
We talked about episode 4, Nexus event. So check that out on the Coalition.
I love the fact that I went in there. I'm like, I didn't hate this episode as much, and then like in 5 minutes, Chris convinced me to hate the episode. I was like, oh yeah, that's a horrible plot hole they have in there. It's hilarious, man. 2 more episodes of that, so stay tuned for sure. Yeah, so that's gonna do it for us, people. So make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter. Subscribe to us on YouTube, where you can see Manny streaming some replicants sometimes, and join the Discord where you could chat with other fans of Throwdown, and leave us your questions for this very show. You can find us on any podcast app by searching for Throwdown Show. That's 2 words, Throwdown Show, Throwdown Show. And you can visit throwdownshow.com to listen to previous episodes. If you're watching us on YouTube and you enjoyed this episode, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of when we deliver more content up to YouTube. Links to everything is down below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco. Tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you later, guys.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Yo, make sure to stay tuned to I Am Negan. You know that nuke is coming. It's coming.
Oh, man. And Mr. Brett Murdoch.
It's been fun, I guess.
All right, people. We'll see you on Thursday. We'll be back to our regularly scheduled schedule later.
Later.
Deuces.
Peace.
Latest.